Friday night, the first game of a 9-game homestand as the Tampa Bay Rays meet the Toronto Blue Jays. The Rays off a 9-1 road trip, continuing to make news this afternoon, signing their all-star Ben Zobrist to a 5-year contract extension. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Kevin Kennedy. I'm Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. We'll be hearing from Todd Callis, and, of course, we've already heard from Brian Anderson as well. Kevin, good to be back with you after that road trip. Hey. 9 wins. Telling you, a lot of good baseball went into that, including an outstanding offense.
Hey, it was great to watch those that 10-day road trip you guys had. 9-1 record, unbelievable. Only one hiccup, and the rest was just great. Power. I mean, look at the on-base percentage right here. 315 with runners in scoring position to go with that. 93 runs, leads the American League. 19 stolen bases. The power we've talked about. Just different ways the Rays can beat anybody in Major League Baseball. You know, and they started out the season playing some very good ball clubs. I think the 4-game sweep in Boston was phenomenal. Then coming back, of course, winning 2 out of 3 against a good White Sox team to go with that. The stolen bases speak for themselves. We know the Rays do that. I think 1 through 9, no matter who Joe Madden puts in there, guys are finding a way to get the job done. And what I liked about it, too, Dwayne, was when Danks did shut the ball club down, and the lefty Burley, who normally gives the Rays a tough time, they adjusted very well. Base hits to right field. Sometimes they dunked them in there. Doesn't matter. You don't always have to hit a home run or steal a base to win a game. You can just do it by just, clearly getting nice, clean singles to the outfield.
Yeah, it's a great combination of speed, power, and timely hitting, and some great pitching, as evidenced last Saturday when Matt Garza, who's on the mound tonight, pitched 8 shutout innings at Fenway Park.
Well, I felt this way about this guy since I've been here, and even before. This guy has Cy Young type stuff, and he's certainly coming out of the chute with a 3-0 record, 0.75 earned run average to show that. And as he talked about his demeanor, he knows he's got to keep himself under control because there's absolutely nothing wrong with his electric stuff. He's got the whole arsenal. He can paint with the fastball. He's got it all. He got 175 batting average again. So you expect big things, especially back here at home at the Trop tonight against Toronto. But they do have Brett Cecil on the mound, and the Rays have seen him before.
Yeah, he was 1-1 against the Rays last year with a 491 earned run average. Carlos Pena took him deep a couple times in one of those outings. And, of course, Matt Garza has pitched so well throughout his career against the Blue Jays. Coming up, more on the extension, a 3-year guaranteed, 2-year club option for Zorilla, Ben Zobrist. We'll have more on that in a moment. Canada Field, they sport the best record in baseball. Starting play today with 12 wins and 4 losses. And tonight meet the Toronto Blue Jays. Right now, let's go down to Todd Callis.
Dwayne, fans here at Tropicana Field can get used to seeing number 18 patrol wherever he wants to, as he can play every position on the field other than pitcher and catcher, because Ben Zobrist today officially signs a 5-year contract extension. When he was acquired from the Houston Astros back in July of 2006, everyone talked about Mitch Talbot, but here it is, Zobrist being the guy that's going to be a part of the future here for a lot of years to come for the Tampa Bay Rays. Our Geico quote of the game is about Ben Zobrist signing this afternoon.
You know, this organization has been through an incredible transition in the last few years, and you know, I've seen it at the bottom, you know, and then I've seen it climb quickly, you know, and to see where it is right now, it was a no-brainer for us to want to be here, you know, and want to be around all these young, you know, hard-working players and guys that are hungry to play the game the right way.
Well, we think it's a big deal for this organization in the sense that we know that Ben will be here for at least the next 5 seasons, and you know what he provides for us in terms of versatility, the types of at-bats he works, his work ethic, his selfless nature, you know, his commitment to winning is something that we think will benefit us greatly going forward. And something I said during the press conference is, you know, it's a great sign also to our young players in our minor league system who are looking at, you know, the best way to receive a long-term contract extension. Ben's a great example.
A lot of fans who are familiar with the newer metrics of the game, WAR, wins above replacement, UZR, know how valuable Ben Zobrist is and will be here for a while to come. We're ready for baseball on a Friday night. It's the Rays and the Jays. Enjoy all the action.
Toronto Blue Jays square off. The Rays have taken the field. We're set to play baseball to open this 3-game series and 9-game homestand for the Rays. Freddie Lewis will lead it off for Toronto tonight with Aaron Hill, the number 2 hitter in second. Adam Lind, the DH. Vernon Wells off to a very hot start in center field as cleanup. Ahead of Lyle Overbay, the first baseman, and the shortstop, Alex Gonzalez. Jose Bautista is at third. John Buck behind the plate hits 8th, and Travis Snyder in right field, the number 9 hitter.
The Rays come in with the number 1 starting ERA in baseball, led by Matt Garza. That ERA is 2.67. His is 0.75 with a 3-0 record in his 3 starts and averaging 8 innings per start to go with that, with only 7 walks and 19 strikeouts and a very impressive 175 batting average against. Around the outfield defensively for the Rays tonight, Carl Crawford in left, B.J. Upton back in center, and Gabe Kapler in right. Around the infield, Evan Longoria and Jason Bartlett on the left side, Ben Zobrist and Carlos Pena on the right side, and Gianno Navarro behind the plate for Matt Garza.
Well, as you know, Garza has dominated the AL East. Joe Madden sends him to the mound to make his 4th start. 3-0 for Garza on the year. And here's Fred Lewis, just recently over from the San Francisco Giants organization. Freddie Lewis hitting 188, and the pitch is upstairs. This game is underway. Rays dominated the season series last year against Toronto. They won 14 of the 18 games played between these two teams. That's a strike, and the count is 1-1.
Well, it just sounded good, didn't it? Matt Garza with that nice fluid delivery and power fastball, 92 on the outside corner.
Inside, Garza. Saturday in Boston, worked 8 innings, made 115 pitches. He was hooked up against John Lester in that one. The Rays won that game going away 7-1. He pitched those 8 shutout innings, striking out 5 and walking 2. That's how to play the other way.
That fastball's just by you right there. 2-1 count, 93. Freddie Lewis a little late.
Toronto in with 9 wins, 9-7. 3 of those over Baltimore, 2 against the White Sox, 2 against Kansas City, and 2 against Texas. And we have a full count. There's Cito Gaston, back of the helm of the Blue Jays, second time around, and this is his 3rd season.
And perhaps his last, as Cito has said. He will stay in the organization, but this is it on the field.
Lewis fouls one away.
Nice to see Cito get another chance to manage, because when he took this club to 2 world championships in 92 and 93, and when he lost his job, I mean, he didn't get another one. Barely got any interviews. Never made sense to me.
Upstairs, ball 4, so Garza gives up the pass. Lewis heads to first for the walk. Tonight's broadcast on Sun Sports, presented in beautiful HD by H.H. Gregg. .72 degrees here, as opposed to what the Rays have been used to playing in the last
felt for
week
you.
and a half.
You look cold on TV watching you guys.
We were all cold except for Todd Callis. He was warm the entire trip.
Well, Todd was moving around a lot.
Yep.
Even in Chicago.
That's
he
right.
gets around. He knows how to stay warm.
Aaron Hill is just back off the disabled list. Fouls that one back for a strike. He is a key component. He had the hamstring injury. So important to the Toronto club, offensively and defensively, out at second base. That's out of play.
Yeah, well, one thing we saw last year from Aaron Hill, if he got a fastball in a hitter's count, he usually hit that a long ways. Of course, Matt Garza has the advantage here, 0-2. Freddie Lewis, haven't seen him a lot in San Francisco. He is a pretty good base runner and will take a base. He will steal. He had a little bluff on that last pitch.
0-2 the count. And a fly ball hit into center. BJ's going to have to come in for it, make the catch. Back goes Lewis to first base. One away.
Yeah, BJ, let's take a look at BJ, top of your screen right there. Little hesitation, little freeze. He's just trying to get a read on it. You know, Aaron Hill, when he squares one up, usually it goes for extra bases on a fastball, and this one a little bit off the end of the bat, so BJ recovers and tracks it down.
There's Adam Lind. And coming off a 35 home run season. In fact, Hill had 36 and Lynn had 35 last year for the Blue Jays. That's a first pitch strike.
That's a pretty good 2-3 combination, isn't it? 71 home runs. The problem was the guys behind him. Last year, of course, Vernon Wells didn't have his best year, but he's off to a great start this year. And he's on deck.
Slow. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Vernon.
Well, the Blue Jays have been hitting home runs, and he starts the day tied for the major league lead. Wells does with 7 home runs. In fact, the Blue Jays lead the majors in home runs with 23. Pitch just missed. 2-1.
Take a look at what Fox Tracks has to say about this. Wow, right down the middle at the knees.
Yeah, maybe it didn't just miss.
Maybe a little bit higher than the knees. Can't get fooled just because the catcher's setting away and he misses over the plate. If it's a strike, it's a strike. Got to call it.
It's going to be out of play to take the count to 2-2.
Good running count right here for Freddie Lewis. Matt Garza will try to make it happen right here. So if Lewis is going to run, this would be the time to do it. 3-2 is pretty obvious, but 2-2 is a count you can make it happen if Matt decides to go breaking ball, especially.
Got a guy with Lewis speed over there. Helps that decision to be made on 2-2. He's going. Pitch is fouled back. So we'll do it again. Yeah, you could look at Lewis and figure he was going. He didn't disguise that much.
Because Matt's concentration really has to be on a guy that can take him out of the ballpark in a 2-2 count. He can't be fooling around worrying about Lewis. He's got to get the hitter out, and that's why it's a good time to run. At least the first time. He may not double up on it.
Ground ball outside of first. Count is still 2-2. The Blue Jays just getting into town here for this 3-game series, and that's the extent of their road trip. They just finished a 4-6 homestand for the White Sox, the Angels, and the Royals. They're in here for 3 and then right back up to Toronto. That's down. So the count goes full.
Matt Garza on the 2-2. Nice hard slider. Ran right out of the zone. They hit the back foot right there. Get him to chase it. He'll definitely be going now.
And ball 4. A fastball is wide. So 2 walks in the inning. The Blue Jays have runners at first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, this ball's a good 1.5 feet outside of the zone. According to Fox Tracks, at the top part of the zone, but he was way wide. Here's a guy you got to worry about on that first fastball. So even though he's got 7 home runs, it's not that he's doing a whole lot differently, so we're told.
Yep.
From some Toronto people.
He did have some work done after the season last year, some surgery on his left wrist. But his approach has been pretty much what it's always been.
Yeah, he likes that first fastball. He's always been a first ball fastball hitter. So it's not that you can't throw one, you just better locate it.
And a foul ball off a breaking ball.
Yeah.
He's out in front.
Good call. Like an 84 mile an hour slider up in the zone. He actually started to back up a little bit. Vernon's eyes lit up, but he couldn't get through it.
There's a shot headed toward the corner. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Lewis scores. Lynn's going to go to third. Wells doubles into the left field corner. Toronto takes a 1-0 lead. Well, it doesn't make any difference how good things have been. Walks come back to kill you.
They sure do, and there's not a lot of margin for error. Fastball in right there. Ball was up a little bit, belt high. Did have the inside part of the plate, but that's exactly, as we said, what Vernon Wells looks for early in the count. He's looking for that first good fastball to hit, and he got one. He's got to prove to me that he can hit the breaking balls, runners in scoring position.
Garza tries to redirect his focus there with that little time by himself back of the mound. 7 doubles and 7 home runs, 13 runs batted in for Wells. Here's Lyle Overbay. There's a strike.
Well, let's see if Matt can minimize the damage now. He's been doing a good job at that. So,
yeah, that's one thing the Rays pitching staff has been very good at. So Overbay, a very important hitter here against Matt Garza.
And of course, the Rays in the infield will give up a run if it's hit on the ground anywhere. And with the way the Rays are swinging at bats, two runs isn't going to beat them.
2-1.
You can pop him up and strike him out, all the better.
Late on that fastball, fouling it. The count goes to 2-2. Overbay hit 16 home runs last year, hitting .265.
And here's a situation, Dwayne, where I believe you do go for the strikeout. When you got him at 2-2, I think you go for the punch out right here if you can. You do have a base open.
And he got him. Overbay's out on strikes. Out number 2 and a very big out here in the first.
Hey, he came right there with a slider and got him to swing right through it. A little bit up, but effective. And I like the call. Not sure if that's exactly where Matt wanted it, but it works.
That'll be Alex Gonzalez. Two men on, 2 men out, a run home. Gonzalez shoots a base hit into center. The run will score. Upton will come to the plate with the throw. That's not in time. Gonzalez heads to second. And so Gonzalez comes through for Toronto with a base hit, shooting it right back through the middle. He goes to second on the throw through. And now the Blue Jays have a 3-run first.
Gonzalez is also a guy that we know from, of course, Boston and a variety of other places. He's a first ball fastball hitter. He'll chase the breaking ball. So you got a cookie right down the middle. So really the sequencing, I think, hurt in this inning against Vernon Wells and Alex Gonzalez. Those guys are both renowned first ball hitters. Renowned. No secrets.
Bautista. Pitch is a strike. So Garza, who had given up a total of 3 runs in his first 3 starts, touched for 3 here in the first inning. A strike on the corner. 0-2.
And he knows he starts off Bautista with a couple of sliders and effective ones too. Good pitch. Excellent.
Boy, that is very good right there.
Yeah. I'd like to have seen him throw that to Gonzalez or Wells. You know, those are the 2 guys you got to worry about in the first pitch fastball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Both Lewis and Lynn, who walked, have scored. Wells drove in a run, and then he scored on a base hit by Gonzalez on the single to center, chasing home two. Bautista with a 1-2 count.
Well, Matt's job now is to put up zeros the rest of the way, and he's done a good job at that. When he does give up a 2 or 3 spot, he's been pretty good at coming back and putting up some zeros and letting the Rays offense come back.
Well, that fastball was in on Bautista, tied him up, and he managed to foul it away. Pitches here in the first for Garza. This one into left center field. That's a slider that hung up there. Run will score. Bautista winds up in second. And it's a 4-run first.
That was just a hanger. Not a bad call as far as the pitch. He just got it up. Hanging slider right here. Not a put away pitch. No flat one right there, and because of the overthrow and not keeping the runner at first base on the base hit by Gonzalez, that run comes around to score now, and Alex Gonzalez.
So the Blue Jays have put 7 men to the plate. They've scored 4. Meeting at the mound breaks up. Jim Hickey, the Rays pitching coach, spending some time with the Rays right-hander. It's been a challenge for Garza here in the first.
But you said it. It was the walks really that set this up. And he was just trying to be a little bit too fine with Lewis, who you could pretty much go right after. And, of course, Lynn. You do have to pitch carefully, but he missed with him also.
And he hits Buck. So on the first pitch, John Buck, the catcher, is hit.
That just got away. That just ran and kept running on Buck. You see that movement coming up and in. He was trying to go in, but obviously not trying to hit a guy here. The number 8 hitter hitting 195. You're already down 4.
There's Travis Snyder. He's low. Snyder with a couple of home runs. Big 143. Hit 9 home runs in just under half a season last year with the Blue Jays. And now Garza's behind him, 2-0.
Yeah, and the problem is the pitch count. 35 pitches this inning for Matt. He's already gone 1 time through the lineup, and that's going to put pressure on the bullpen the first game of the homestand here.
There's a strike, 2-1. Well, that's exactly how it stacks up, unless he can do what Shields did last night. Shields made 34 pitches in the first. Garza already up to 37. It's a 2-2 count right now. So somewhere along the line, he's going to need 2 or 3 very low pitch innings to make up for this.
Right.
Otherwise, the Rays will get into that bullpen.
Yeah, and he can do that. First things first, got to get through this inning.
2-2. Very close with the curveball. And the count is full.
Yeah, pretty good pitch. Let's see what Fox Tracks has to say. Yeah, it went around the plate. You can see from that a good center field shot. Really was outside, no question about it. Navarro does the best he can to give it a good look.
Runners are off. 3-2, and a pitch is line foul. Well, that was a great catch by a fan down there. He brought his glove and That line drive found the glove.
He had him played correctly.
Yes, he did. He may have to confer with Joe Madden on future defensive alignments.
Defensive specialist.
And there's a liner toward the left field line, just foul. That one sliced just outside the line.
Well, that would have been two more runs, perhaps. Snyder just laid on that. And a good look right there down the left field line. Clearly a good foot foul. That's Hunter Whittlestead at third base, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Hunter. Yep. Locked in on it. Nice job.
So another 3-2 pitch. 40 pitches now here in the first. It's going to work out for Garza. Line drive into right. That's going to be caught by Kepler out there to retire the side. Well, that ball, 9 men to the plate, 4-run score. Rays coming in to hit. Rays start from a deficit tonight with Toronto putting 4 up in the first. Joe Madden's lineup has Jason Bartlett leading off at short, followed by Carl Crawford and then Ben Zobrist, Evan Longoria, Carlos Pena, and B.J. Upton right down the middle. Willie Aybar, proud new father, is the DH. Deanna Navarro behind the plate hits 8th, and Gabe Kapler in right field hits in the 9th spot.
And the Rays will face the left-handed Brett Cecil. Last year, in 18 games and 17 starts, had a 7-4 record with a 5.30 earned run average. You saw the Rays a few times last year. Was 1-1 overall with a 4.91 ERA. And the pitchers you got to look for, which the Rays are used to seeing John Danks and Mark Burley last week, is that changeup. He's got that good changeup fading away, especially the righties.
Jason Bartlett. And the first pitch is a strike. And, you know, he's one of those guys who, and I don't know that hitters can really do this, but you might get a general impression when his delivery is made to the plate, the pitching hand becomes visible behind his back. Mm-hmm. So it's possible to get a general idea, perhaps, of a pitch grip.
Well, I could tell you this, having worked with guys like Reggie Smith, Will Clark, they definitely will look for that. They will pick that up.
Take a look at this right here.
Oh, you can see it, absolutely. You can see the grip. I mean, that's why they used to call that hooking your arm, and they used to try to teach pitchers to get away from doing that, the guys that did it. Now, One that I can think of that did it and got away with it pretty well was Rick Sutcliffe.
Yeah, Rick had a pretty nice career.
He sure did. But that's definitely, some guys can really pick that up. Others don't even want to bother with it. It's too fast, too quick.
Swing and a miss at the high fastball. Bartlett is out on strikes.
Number 13,
Toronto Blue Jays defensively coming 5th in the American League and fielding percentage at .986. The outfield, Lewis, Wells, and Snyder. Left to right, Bautista, Gonzalez, Hill, and Overbay in the infield, and John Buck behind the plate for Brett Cecil.
Cecil just 23 years old. And he throws that fastball by Crawford. He's come out here with pretty good stuff.
Yeah, 93 right there. Pretty good fastball. And a slider and a changeup to go with it.
Back a little bit. It's 1-1.
Blue Jays last year were first in the American League in fielding. Fielding percentage, .988. Talking about defense. Crawford
lifts it into short center. Wells makes the catch. So 2 quick outs for the young left-handers, just up from AAA. Made a couple of roster changes when they called up Cecil and activated Hill. So a couple additions on the Toronto roster.
That looked like more of a curveball, that last pitch to Carl Crawford.
Ben Zobrist. And the pitch is a strike. We saw him last year. He had kind of a variation of a knuckle curve.
Yeah, that might have been it right there. 78 miles an hour.
One and one. Ben Zobrist with the brand new contract extension announced this afternoon by Andrew Friedman.
That's nice. Well deserved.
Well, he's a quality player, and I think the quality of his play is reflected in the quality of individual he is. 2-2, and he just felt a lot of gratitude, the ability to, the opportunity to sign that deal. He's called out on strikes right here. That started wide and then caught the plate. Couple strikeouts. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. We're at the end of an inning, and Toronto has a 1-0 lead. Your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, moving forward. By Buddy's Home Furnishings, where there's no credit needed and up to 6 months, same as cash. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Back at Tropicana Field, we head into the second inning. Blue Jays with a 4-run first, and so the Rays are down 4-0. Toronto will send the top of its order, Freddie Lewis, to the plate to lead off the second, followed by Aaron Hill and then Adam Lynn. And a long first inning for Garza when he made 41 pitches. First one into Lewis is foul out of play. Strike one.
He's got to pretty much start over. For Matt, block out the first inning and put some zeros up there now.
With Kevin Kennedy, Dwayne Stats with you from the Trop tonight, opening this series and the home stand. And I'll tell you, partner, it's nice to be back with you. We anticipated that you would be back here, but we didn't quite anticipate how harrowing your trip from the West Coast might be. And I should say harrowing and heroic at the same time, buddy. It's so great to have you safe and sound right here next to us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Matt getting ahead there with a good fastball. It was a flight last night that I took, a red eye from LA that I take frequently back to Tampa, that had a major miscue going on there about an hour and 15 minutes into the flight, and that was pretty scary. But everybody got involved in that on the flight, did a great job. There were 8 guys that got involved and helped subdue somebody.
And there's a little looper into left. That's going to fall for a base hit. So Lewis is on to start the second inning. Well, you thought, as you had every right to think, that you would take the red eye from the West Coast back here and maybe catch a nap or two on the way back. And in fact, as this developed, tell us the story. As it developed, most of everyone was asleep at the time.
It's now a story nationally. I know they weren't doing much on it earlier because details weren't coming in, but for those of us on the plane, and I was in first class sitting in 2C, which is the aisle seat, and about an hour and 15 minutes into the flight, the guy sitting behind me, as all of us were asleep, got up and created some disturbance, went into the bathroom and apparently tore that up. We didn't know that at the time, trying to get apparently into the cockpit of the plane. And then as all of us in first were waking up, people in the back of the plane I don't think knew a whole lot what was going on at the time. But long story short, this guy made a bomb threat, a major bomb threat, so he's going to blow the plane up.
It's been popped up by Hill, and Pena's after it.
And it was serious. It wasn't just somebody being, obviously there was, anybody saying he's going to blow a plane up has got to be crazy, but it wasn't a joke. It wasn't that this guy was just unruly and being nasty to the flight attendants or anything like that. This guy was serious. He was talking about Satan and things like that, and he said, I'm going to blow you guys up and I'm going to take everybody with me. And he'd already tried to get into the cockpit. I saw him trying to do that. That's when I unbuckled, got up out of my seat in 2C. Guys behind me, and even some guys not in first were coming our way, and there were 8 of us in all that took this guy down. And he tried to open up the door, too, of the plane, and that's what really finished it off for us. And I should say this, and will say this, my partner sitting next to me, we'd actually talked about this as before the plane took off, about being aware and how much aware. So we had a good conversation, so we were thinking about this later as we finally landed in Tampa late this morning. But everybody, the 8 guys involved, I consider them, those are life friends. I think any American, anybody out there actually in the same situation would have done the same.
It's interesting. I guess I'm assuming you don't have a lot of time to think, but
no.
But at the same time, you knew what the possible ramifications of that might be.
What I didn't know, and I think the guys, I looked to my left and to my right, and we had the same look. It wasn't like, hey, let's get together, let's do it, let's go. We just had that look in our eyes as I looked to my left, I looked to my right, I looked behind. I saw one of our guys on the plane coming up close. I could feel his presence. I knew there was help, so I knew it wasn't just going to be me. Actually, the other guys got there right before I did. I mean, they were so quick. They did a great job. All 7 other guys, it was phenomenal to see it. People pull together, Americans pull together.
Lynn draws the walk for the second time, 2 men on.
It really grounds you, Dwayne. I mean, it does. I mean, you have no time to think and something like that. I've never experienced it. But you don't think about death and dying. You think about, how am I going to prevent this? And obviously I reflected my own thoughts about what happened in 9/11, and God rest all their souls. But because I lost a good friend on one of those flights, myself as a cameraman at Fox, and I just thought, you know what? In today's world, you never know. So we're not going to let them do that. We're going to do something about it. Let me put it that way.
Well,
and the guys, we all did.
Well, God bless you and your compatriots there.
Absolutely.
That prevented.
They were phenomenal.
Just an unimaginable tragedy. Upton makes the catch on the fly ball hit by Wells, and so we're more appreciative and happier than ever to have you sitting here. You know, I couldn't help but put this in a baseball context when you were thinking, you were relating what you were thinking and what you had to do. And I said to myself, you know, there's the old catcher coming out in Kevin Kennedy there. Not only are you still capable of blocking the plate, but you can put together a pretty quick game plan on how to pitch a situation. And you called some pretty good pitches there.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. And from the bottom of our hearts, all of us, we know how harrowing that must have been. We're just so happy you're here.
Well, the 7 other guys on that flight that got involved, and a couple of them got there right before I did, actually. They were, a little quicker than me, but I don't have the legs I once did. But I got there to block the plate, put it that way. Yeah, no, we got him. We handcuffed him. We had to keep him down, by the way, for 25 minutes as we diverted. We were over El Paso at the time, about 1:30, whatever in the morning, and we got to Albuquerque. And from there, the Albuquerque police took over, the FBI took over. We did, 8 of us did our own depositions in writing, and we'll see what happens from there. But I can tell you, the people that got off the plane, we had a 4-hour layover after that. They had to screen the plane, scan the plane, the whole 9 yards. Everything was fine after that. People were thankful to all of us, the 8 of us that got involved in putting this guy down.
Well, that is great news the way it turned out, and it's a national story now, as you mentioned. It's on all the networks and in the media outlets, and so when you take a look at that, now you know a little bit more about that story, and that our own Kevin Kennedy was right in the middle of that.
The irony too
is the tragedy.
A lot of us take that flight frequently back and forth between Tampa and LA. There are a lot of guys on that flight that are baseball fans and Rays fans, and a couple of them actually recognized me from baseball in the Rays, and maybe we'll get some of them together, all of them together, and get them out here one night.
That'd be great.
Kind of work on that as things go on.
Yeah.
But they did an incredible job, every one of those guys, and I consider them friends for life. And it was just people pulling together, and it was amazing to see and feel and experience that.
1-2 to Overbay is wide, 2-2. So we're happy to say. No worse for the wear. How's the back, though?
I'm okay. A little wrench. The guy was strong, and he was really strong. And we got him and got him. Finally got the handcuffs. He was so strong. He broke through one pair of handcuffs. We had to put a second pair on him, and finally got him down and used seat belts and our belts and everything else to get him. And we kept him down for 25 minutes as we landed, flying on our way from El Paso to Albuquerque. So. Thank God it all worked out. But I was in 2C. I was 4 feet from the guy. So the advantage of sitting in first class, I guess, because for me, I looked at it as a blessing that I got the opportunity to help, really, because I know if I were in the back of the plane, I would have felt like a lot of the guys did that were in the back that wanted to help.
Good ball down and in. That popped away. That's going to be a wild pitch. And both Lewis and Lind advance. So they're both now in scoring position on the wild pitch. 3-2 the count to Overbay. So 2 more men in scoring position and a 4-0 game.
Yeah, this is a real important pitch right here in this game, real turning point game. There's 4 runs you can come back from. 6 you can too, but it makes it a lot more difficult.
Pretty close. That's ball 4. A fastball missed. So it continues to be a difficult stop and a difficult outing here for Garza.
Yeah, I mean, the shots will tell you. Saw from the center field shot and now the overhead, it was off the outside corner. And that white line where the box is, that's 6 inches away. So it was indeed outside. It was the right call.
So they're loaded.
Tampa, brother.
You know, my final point on this incident too. I think any American, any of us out there would have done the same thing. I really believe that when you're up against a circumstance like that you don't expect, you react and you use your instincts and you know when it's time and you just do it and you don't think about it.
Alex Gonzalez goes after this one. A ground ball to short. Stayed away from the fastball, and they get the force play at second, leaving the bases loaded. 4-0 Toronto. Part of the fun and excitement of Rays baseball with Rays season tickets. Ensure the best seats, biggest savings, and all the great benefits. Call 888-FAN-RAYS. Representatives are standing by right now. 888-FAN-RAYS. Four to nothing. Rays got out of a big spot in the top of the second, and here's Evan Longoria to lead off the home half of the inning. Pitch is high. Evan will be followed by Carlos Pena and then B.J. Upton.
It's a big turning point inning, getting through that inning with a 0.
And to third, skipping by Bautista. Moving to his left, the ball stayed down on him and skipped past into left.
Now, it was hit hard, though, and that's a single to left field, and that's the reason why it was important to put a 0 up there for Matt Garza. Here's a fastball, middle of the way. Good quick swing by Evan. Gets right through it, shoots it right past Bautista right there, and the Rays have an inning going. But I always call them momentum switches in a game. There's usually 2 to 3 in a game, and I think the second inning, getting out of that without any damage, was a momentum switch. And now the offense gets a little confidence and get a couple of points back.
Well, here's Carlos Pena. And Carlos has been putting together some very good at-bats on this last road trip. So we'll see how he fares against this left-hander. He's taken in deep a couple of times last year, Brett Cecil. Up in Toronto, and he fouls that pitch. Boy, that pitch was up. Foul back, strike one.
Yeah, a little bit out of the zone, but Carlos liked it, and he's asking right now to the home plate umpire, Dan Bellino, was that up? And Carlos recognized it, but if he gets through it, he's got a chance to hit a 2-run home run. So no problem with that, jumping on that first pitch.
Playing some catch-up tonight. Pena down in the count, 0-2. Cecil had made a couple starts this year in Las Vegas. AAA affiliate for Toronto. He was 2-0 there with a 245 earned run average. Had 11 strikeouts in 11 innings and had given up 13 hits.
Yeah, I saw that.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's the slider right there, 82 up in the zone. Well, we've seen slider, curveball about 77, 78, fastball. Haven't really seen the changeup yet, have we? He's got one. Look at that. Got a good one.
Giving up the base hit to Evan. So Longoria's at first to start it. Rays have been averaging over 5.8 runs a game. And if you do that, you're going to win some games.
Yeah, you know, you touched on that.
Balk has been good.
Yeah.
Well, that'll push Longoria in the scoring position.
Well, there it is. I mean, we talk about the running game, and that's just the threat of the possibility of running. Not that Evan would run in this count, but you know, you can see that Cecil's going quicker to the plate. A little hesitation there. Well, from that angle, let's see. Did he move before? Did he break his hands from the other? We have another angle.
And strike 3 call. Pena caught looking. That's a breaking ball right there, I think.
Yeah, that was like a little cutter or slider. Look, it backed up. Trying to go away, and it backed up. It was over the plate. Look at it back up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that might have been a slider that backed up.
It did. It sure did. You know, Garza threw one that backed up, and he didn't get the call. It was right down the middle, the first inning.
Now B.J. Upton. Strike 1. B.J. with 4 home runs on the road trip.
B.J. was impressive on the road, huh? Mm-hmm. Opposite field home runs.
Yep. Well, the Rays had their offense pretty well spread out, and B.J. was a big part of it. He was
13 ribbies.
Yeah, he is among the league leaders in runs batted in, 4th in the league. In fact, the Rays have 4 different hitters with at least 12 runs batted in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pena has 17, and Longoria and Upton each with 13. Carl Crawford, who's been excellent with men in scoring position, has 12 runs batted in. Carl's 7 out of 10 with men in scoring position. Still a 1-2 count.
That's the bigger break right there, the bigger breaking ball. 78 miles an hour. Is that knuckle curve you're talking about, Wayne? Must be, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the curve ball right there. Pretty good pitch.
BJ under it. Lifts it high, not overly deep to center. Wells is there to make the catch. So 2 outs with Longoria still at second. In tonight's game and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida. Now Willie Aybar. Willie's had 1 at bat lifetime against the left-hander Brett Cecil. There's a hit. Pitch is too high.
Only 4 games, 2 for 16. Did hit a home run here at the Trop.
Lifts it to the right side. Hill and Overbay. It's going to be the first baseman Overbay making the catch. The Rays going to hit, leave a man. Through 2, they trail 4-0.
Joe Madden looking on as his Rays trail 4-0 heading to the 3rd inning. Matt Garza is the subject of our Auto-Way text poll tonight. You can text your answer to 789-789 and vote for one of the 4. How many games do you think Garza will win this year? Off to a 3-0 start. TB1 for 20+, TB2 17, 18, or 19, TB3 14 through 16, or TB4 13 or less. Standard message and data rates apply. As Matt Garza back on the mound for the 3rd inning. Gave up those 4 runs in the 1st inning, and that is nothing new for Garza, but if form holds based on what he has done this year, as he deals to Jose Bautista, fouls the first pitch off. You'll see the Garza guy settles in after that 1st inning, and let's hope that trend continues tonight, Dwayne.
Well, they got out of a big spot in the 2nd inning, leaving the bases loaded. It's a pretty good breakout right there.
Yeah, that's not unusual for the starting pitcher.
This one is fouled back into the upper deck. The bat wound up near the bottom of the screen. And it's a 2-strike count.
Yeah, you know, giving up runs early here. Let's take a look at Bautista with the big swing right here. And we'll get a little pine tar on the batting gloves right there. More pine tar. More pine tar. There you go.
Because it was right here a moment ago. Bautista got a big hit, driving in a run in the 1st inning. Gonzalez really got a key hit when he had that first pitch fastball and singled into center field, scoring 2.
A couple of big 2-out hits in the 1st.
This one lined into center, pretty well hit, and it's off the glove of Upton. He's going to have to go to the wall to chase it. Bautista hitting 2nd and turning on the speed, and now putting on the brakes. Bautista thought about 3rd, decided to hold on with nobody out. He'll stop at 2nd with a double.
Yeah, that was a laser beam right there. That he really centered that well. Swing, bullet, just off the tip of BJ's glove as he ran straight across and realized that ball was taken off on him, and by the time he recovered, just a little bit too late. Ball had some backspin and carry to it. 6 doubles already.
Yep. 2 tonight. 2 for 2. It's John Buck. Buck formerly with the Kansas City Ball Club. Hit .217 with the Royals last year and 8 home runs. He does have some occasional power in that bat. Hit by a pitch his first time up. Fastball in on him.
Yeah, he got in there pretty good. That's what he was trying to do in the first inning when he hit Buck. He was trying to ride a good fastball in on his hands. And the ball ran in and hit him. Well, now he's got him set up for a fastball up or a good hard slider for a strikeout.
Lays off as that one broke down. Slider. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
And it's a situation now, too, with no outs. You'd like to go for the strikeout, and I think Matt did right there. So Buck doesn't put it in play and get the runner over to third base. And we know Matt has strikeout stuff, and this is the time to go for it.
Buck, and boy, he didn't have much of a chance on that slider. Second strikeout for Garza, the first out in the third.
Yeah, that got Buck caught in between. By the time he realized it was a slider, it was too late. Just a little bit of a waving at us over here. Gonna hang with him. That's where you're looking in and you realize that thing's breaking away and I better do something to try to save myself. And you don't have much of a swing at it.
Travis Snyder takes a fastball first pitch, strike 1.
Big projection for this guy, isn't there, Point? Travis Snyder.
They like his bat a lot.
Yeah. That's a good pitch right there. Paints him up.
Ground ball shortstop. Batista's going to run into an out at third. Bartlett to Longoria.
That's just bad base running right there. That ball's hitting right at Bartlett and right in front of Batista and hit hard. And he has no business trying to advance on that. And that, you know, right now doesn't look like a big play, but with the way the Rays swing the bats, it could be. Gets him out of scoring position with 2 outs.
So Snyder's at first, and here's Fred Lewis hitting again. This ball away. He has been on twice with a walk and a single. Scored a run in the first when he walked. And a high fly ball, right center field. Upton is there, makes the catch, and then retires the side. Bottom of the third coming, 4-0 Toronto. the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment coming up later in tonight's game. Deanna Navarro to open the bottom of the third. Kapler and Bartlett, 2 and 3 hitters in the inning against Brett Cecil. Navarro takes the first pitch strike.
Cecil's trying to get a pretty good read on that outside corner, and so far he's getting the calls out there.
Ball, 1 strike. Two and one. Cecil 1-1 with a .491 earned on average during his young career against the Rays. It's a 3-ball, 1 strike count. So the Rays trying to get something going in the third. By Lewis. Coming into this game, the Rays were hitting .209 against left-handed pitching. And that's after picking up 9 hits and 6 runs off Mark Burley the other night. In fact, the Rays went into that game hitting only .170 against lefties and wound up beating the White Sox 12-0 with half of those runs coming against Burley. Kapler, a towering pop-up. Bautista in foul territory. That is out number 2. Two up, 2 down.
It's amazing, isn't it? Some clubs just don't hit lefties well, and you go, why is that? You got some good right-handed hitters. Well, if they're lefties like Burley and Danks, who normally can paint with the changeup fading away from righties, that could be very tough. It's almost like certain lefties like that, you almost want to put some lefties in the lineup. At least I did. I felt that way, to take that pitch away from them.
To strike, well, I'll tell you.
If you can.
And I think there's some wisdom in that, because if you look at Burley's numbers, they've been... they actually have been better that way in terms of trying to hit him.
We just saw a changeup right there from Cecil that Bartlett waved at. Well, there's the numbers versus lefties. Carl Crawford, Carlos Pena, 294. Crawford holding his own, couple of home runs. Hit one against Danks the other night, and the rest of the team 192. Now, if it's a Randy Johnson lefty, my lefty didn't want any part of that.
Yeah, I got you.
That's a different story.
But, you know, both Burley and Danks have been good against right-handed hitters. In fact, I think Danks had held right-handed hitters to something like 167 against him for the year.
Yeah, he's got the great changeup. He throws that cutter in off the plate, up the inside corner, too.
And Bartlett laid on a fastball. Boy, he was quick with that fastball. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. We're headed into the fourth. 4-0 Toronto.
By authority of the Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and all accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Friday night at Tropicana Field, we go to the fourth. Blue Jays scored 4 in the first, and that has been it. They left the bases loaded in the second, added another base runner, and left him on in the third. Here's Aaron Hill to begin the fourth inning. Foul back, strike one. Well, it's up to Garza now to hold the Blue Jays and for the offense to go to work.
Yeah, so far Cecil's looking pretty good. He's got a pretty good live fastball going on, mixing in his breaking stuff.
It's foul outside of third. 0-2.
You know, as well as the Rays played last year against the Blue Jays, we'll take a look at Brett Cecil. You get those from Kevin Gregg, those glasses? Okay.
18 months now, yeah.
You know, I thought they had some pretty good young pitching that came up last year. Now they've got Sean Markham back.
Yeah, that's, I think, when they look toward the future, the first thing they look at is the number of young pitching prospects they have.
Yeah, definitely. Cecil's one of those guys. Ricky Romero, of course, speaks for himself.
He'll pitch tomorrow. Jeff Neiman will pitch opposing him. Hill is out on strikes. Third strikeout for Garza. And here's tonight's AT&T trivia question. A player has hit the most home runs versus Toronto since 2007. Our AT&T trivia question tonight.
That was a good slider. That's the Matt Garza we know. Good sequence against Aaron Hill, and just a beautiful slider with great tilt to get him swinging.
Now Adam Lynn. And a strike at the knees.
Kind of getting a rhythm now, going in a flow.
Garza has issued 4 walks, all coming in the first 2 innings. In fact, he started the game by walking Fred Lewis, and after he got Hill on a fly ball to center, he walked Adam Lynn. Lynn has walked twice tonight. See his pitch count. Two and one. Lynn 6 of 22 lifetime against Garza.
Nasty right there. That's a good pitch. So far, I like the sequence because he came up and in and just did miss. He was back down away. Look at that. That's his paint. Number 4 and Fox tracks right there. Outside corner at the knees. Navarro frees it, gives him a good look behind the plate.
Foul back, holding the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tough for a hitter because you got to look for fastball as hard as he can throw. 94, 95, 2 strikes on him. Try to adjust to anything breaking like that slider that he likes to throw.
And a one-hopper out to second. Zobrist makes a nice pickup to throw out Adam Lynn.
Sure did. That was a nice play by Ben. That was a curveball. Got a little bit up. Nice pass at it by Liddon right here. He's centered it up nicely. Ben kept the glove down. That was key right there. Didn't come up with the glove, kept it down, and then you're able to bring the glove up. When you start the glove low, you're able to bring it up. When you start with it up, it's tough to go down and get a bullet like that. It's a nice defensive play.
Vernon Wells, and he did offer. Wells asking Dan Bellino about an appeal, but Bellino had already made that strike call, and there's no place else to go after you make that call.
You don't appeal after. You've already called it, and I think he probably called it right. Just didn't break it. He knows it. Vernon carried the bat across in front of home plate, then broke his wrist just slightly. That's what we're talking about. He's always looking for that first ball to jump on.
That's going to be a base hit into center field. Upton makes the pickup, a 2-out single. Vernon Wells is 2 for 3.
Well, you know, if you're Vernon, you're going to keep looking fastball because you're getting them. And he got another one. He just passed at a slider, made him look silly. Then he throws a fastball up out over the plate, and Vernon just squares it up nicely. Obviously, that's what's happening throughout the league right now. He hasn't missed too many fastballs. We'll put it that way.
Here's Lyle Overbay. He shoots it toward right center field, and that's going to be in there. Back into the alley. Wells heads to the plate on the double by Overbay, and it's 5-0 Toronto. Overbay collecting his 4th run batted in of the year on his 4th double of the year.
That's a fastball that he tried to go down and away, left it a little bit over the plate middle. With a good pass at it by Overbay, good quick swing.
5 runs, 7 hits, and 4 walks allowed by Garza. This is a complete turnaround from the way Garza usually fares against the Blue Jays. That's a strike to Gonzalez, particularly here at the Trop. He made 4 starts here at Tropicana Field against Toronto with an earned run average of 0.33.
I still reflect back to that game he matched Roy Halladay 0s for 0s and ended up winning that game.
He's 6-2 as a member of the Rays against Toronto with his earned run average of 0.92 coming in.
I think some of the problem today is some of the sequencing, and I think some of the problem is just lack of command.
Strike 3. He gets Gonzalez looking. That takes care of the Blue Jays. They add a run on a couple hits. Leave one, 5-0 Toronto. ahead. It's time to get the answer to tonight's AT&T trivia question. What player has hit the most home runs versus Toronto since 2007? And the answer, Carlos Pena, one ahead of Carl Crawford. Pena with 13 and Crawford with 12. Carl leads off the home half of the fourth. That's a strike.
Yeah, he's mixing it up pretty well. I mean, he's got a 5-run lead, and he starts off Crawford with a curveball. That's good game calling right there.
0-2. Zobrist next, and then Longoria. Put in to Carl.
Well, that'll send a message. I mean, they were trying to go in. I don't believe he was trying to hit him, but he missed badly, and that'll definitely send a message as close to his head as it came. Carl's not going to like that. Nobody does.
Carl bounces one foul. He was even more determined to stay in there against that slider.
Yeah. It won't stop Carl from hanging in there. But anything at your head like that, that's nobody in the game likes that.
Ground ball out to second. Hill up with it. Throw to first in time. Carl hustling down the line is thrown out second to first.
The effectiveness of that up and in fastball, though, produces a swing like that on the breaking ball. So it works.
And so Ben Zobrist called out on strikes his first time and takes the pitch inside. 1-0. The Rays and Ben Zobrist today have agreed to a 5-year contract extension. First 3 years are guaranteed, and the team will hold options for the 2014 and 2015 seasons. So that covers this contract. Will cover the first 2 years of Zobrist's free agency.
You think how far he's come. I mean, last year he was the utility man that got an opportunity to play because he took that opportunity and made the most of it. Now he's hitting third in the Rays lineup.
Yep.
I mean, that's a long ways.
Well, he's worked his way there. That's for sure.
And you can see, too, Dwayne, as you know, that he's getting pitched differently this year, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of breaking balls, a lot of off speed. They know he can hit a fastball out of the ballpark. So he's going to have to make adjustments in turn.
Three and one.
You would think with Longoria hitting behind him in the fourth spot that he'd actually get more pitches to hit, but so far what I've seen, he really hasn't.
Well, that's the point of where he is. Number one, he's had such a great on-base percentage. They thought, well, you know, he does work counts so well, and if you put Longoria behind him, all of that should be positive. And he is out on strikes. He tried to hold up, but he's out. Fifth strikeout for Brett Cecil.
Yeah, and they'll keep throwing him off speed in these counts. I mean, Ben was thinking he's going to get a fastball, and he did go, clearly. But those are some of the adjustments now when people lock in on you that Ben's going to have to make, and we know how hard he works, and he will. Came back, what was it, last night, actually, with 3 hits, right?
Yes.
So,
yep. Responded well.
The day off.
Yes. Here's Longoria. That's a foul ball. Strike one. Well, the one thing you know, it's always when you sign players to multi-year contracts, it's always a great idea to know who you're giving that multi-year deal to, and I don't think there's a guy you could know any better than Zobrist in terms of his intelligence and his ability maximize an opportunity and his willingness to work for it.
Yeah, and that's part of it. That's why you sign a guy like Ben to a long-term deal right now and get that done. Get some pieces put together. As you know, the contract and the security is not going to change his work ethic. In fact, he'll probably work harder. Yeah. I don't know that he can work much harder, but he will.
That's just part of his makeup, you know, and he's not going to work harder because somebody wants him to. He's going to work harder because that goes with the territory of signing a multi-year deal. And Longoria out on strikes on the change through 4, 5-0 Toronto.
Ladies, hold up the blue drinks. This is the new Captain Morgan Blue Storm drink, guys. How is it?
It tastes like Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. They really like it. Now, I was waiting in line, guys, and I just couldn't wait any longer for these Captain Morgan Blue Storms, special on Friday nights. But I understand some of our broadcast crew had them delivered. Matt Garza starting the 5th inning here, down 5-0 as he faces the Jays. And first batter here in the inning, it's Jose Bautista, and Garza delivers inside. So, guys, somebody on the broadcast crew got hooked up with the Captain Morgan Blue Storms.
Yeah, it's one of the perks.
Yeah, it's really good, actually.
It is.
Yeah, it's very good.
We need a very big holster to walk around with this thing.
I like that. This is me right here.
Oh, there's a shot to center field off the center field wall, and Bautista is in at second with his 3rd consecutive 2-base hit. Yeah, you know, they feature these Captain Morgan Blue Storms, and they are pretty good. I'll tell you,
very tasty. I like the handle, too.
Yeah. Look at that. It serves as a kind of a barbell. You can work out while you're...
I'm going to be carrying this with me from now on, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, they've come up with
that goes in my
carry-on, and they've come up with a great Cuban sandwich here called Tampa Bay, and that might be the best bargain here so far. That combination. Pitch to John Buck is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Isn't it nice that they just brought these to the booth? And
ice cold.
Todd had to wait in line, and then he then had to get out of line, I guess, to do that report with Ashley and Erica.
I don't think Todd had. I don't think he minded too much. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, he was trying to sell us that sad sack story, but no, I'm not sure that we buy that. Check to the runner, Bautista. And a strike to Buck. One of those nights for Garza. Now Grant Balfour is up in the Rays bullpen.
Yeah, and Matt's had 91 pitches, 92 actually right now for that last pitch. So you'd like to get through this inning and at least get 5. And then if you have to turn it over to the bullpen, so be it. But you can't give up any more runs here, especially the way Brett Cecil's throwing.
Is out on strikes for the second straight time. Time for the Keep Your Edge Spotlight, brought to you by Just for Men Mustache and Beard. And Garza with that strong right arm. He has run into some early problems here tonight. The Blue Jays have built the 5-0 lead. Matt Garza, almost every time out, supplies the Rays with an edge. You too can keep your edge with Just for Men Mustache and Beard.
Yeah, we talked about that first inning. I want to touch on that a little bit more. About a lot of pitchers like Matt is getting through that first inning, and once you do, you kind of get on a roll. Most starting pitchers, or at least a lot of them, will have a problem in the first. Not just the power guys. What happened to Tommy Glavine over the years with the Braves? He gets through that first inning, and he was fine. He wasn't a power guy, but that's why on the bench you'll say, hey, let's get him early, guys, because once he gets on a roll, he puts up zeros.
Fastball high to Travis Snyder.
Once he gets into that rhythm and that flow, that good cadence, that's what you try to break up with starting pitchers. And unfortunately, Matt put himself behind the 8 ball with 2 walks in the first.
There's ball 2. Pena trotting in from first to take the mound. I have just a quick hello with Garza.
He's really had a tough time nailing that outside corner. This ball looks from afar like it's a good pitch, but you can see from the center field shot in Fox Tracks, it is away. So is that one.
And the count is 3-0. Matt with 5 strikeouts. The walks have not helped him tonight. Walked 4, hit 1, thrown a wild pitch. Comes in with a strike to make it 3-1 to Snyder. To left, and Crawford is there. 2 outs. Don't forget, the Rays take on the Blue Jays tomorrow. That's a 6:10 first pitch, and John Fogerty's performing after the game in the Rays Summer Concert Series presented by Hess Express, performing hits like Kevin Kennedy's favorite Center Field, Born on the Bayou, and Brian Anderson's favorite Susie Q. Tomorrow night.
Is that BA's favorite?
That's his
Brian
favorite, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My favorite's Blue Storm.
I just went with the basic baseball. You know, he's gotten a lot of hits. You know that.
Runner takes off, pitches a strike, and the throw down not in time. Bautista picks up steal number 2 on the year.
Took everybody by surprise right there. Navarro from his knees. Nice pick by Evan Longoria, but he just saved a run right there by picking it. Wasn't able to make the tag.
Well, Bautista was denied third on that base running mistake he made in the third. And here he is stealing third. He got in there in the 5th inning with the left-handed bat of Lewis up there.
I think Bautista just saw it on his own where he saw Bartlett and And Ben Zobrist back deep, and he said, I could take third base right here, and he did.
Strike call on the inside corner. Lewis rung up by Andolino. They do not score. We go to the bottom of the fifth. 5-0. Toronto. Double got the scoring started. Then chased home one. Alex Gonzalez single home two. And the double by Bautista made it a 4-run first. They added another run. That came in the fourth inning. A Wells single and a double by Overbay. So Matt Garza, making a little over 100 pitches, is behind in this game, 5-0. And Cito Gaston's young left-hander, Brett Cecil, has limited the Rays to just one hit. That was Longoria's base hit in the second. And now the second time through the lineup, he's broken out the changeup a bit. Carlos Pena waves and misses. We've seen some breaking stuff and the changeup to a couple of the right-handed hitters. And you'll notice with a 5-run lead, of course, he's got a little bit more margin for error, but he's not just throwing first-pitch cookies to get ahead. He's going with breaking stuff. And that's what you saw there to Carlos, right? Carlos struck out, called out looking in the second inning. Down 0-2 here in the fifth. I'll tell you one thing about Buck, he calls a pretty good game. I mean, he sits down there low. He's mixing it up really well. He's very much engaged with that. Here comes a slider. Cecil apparently started and stopped. Didn't want that. We'll see. And Pena reaching is out. He came back with that pitch and got him. Yeah, a couple of sliders. Started with a slider, threw a changeup in between that, and finished it with a slider right here. Good pitch. Tough pitch on Carlos. Cecil has struck out 4 of the last 5 he's faced, and that's why. Well, he got Bartlett with a fastball, and then he got Zobrist and Longoria off speed with a change, and then Pena with a slider. BJ takes a soft breaking ball for a strike. Well, the last 5 hitters have not seen a fastball first pitch. That was a curveball to BJ right there. 1-1. The first inning, first couple of innings, actually, he established his fastball and his cutter. And the next time around the lineup, he's gone more to off speed and slider. Lifted on the right. Snyder makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. It's 11 in a row. retired by Brent Cecil.
Yeah, he's just really mixing it up well. Let's see if he throws a breaking ball right here to Aybar as well. First pitch, that's what he's been doing. Gas.
Up. 1 ball, no strikes.
Pretty efficient pitch count, only 59, yeah.
There's a shot back into left field. Lewis back, that's going to be gone. Home run from Willie Aybar. A 1-0 pitch, and Aybar hits his second home run of the year to get the Rays on the board. And the fans something to cheer about here.
We're only in the 5th inning, and as dominant as Cecil has been, that's why it's important to keep the game right there, which Matt Garza was able to do. This is a fastball. Doubled up on fastballs. Aybar was all over it. Quick swing right there, short finish. An awful lot of hands right there. Not a whole lot of lower body. He just threw his hands at it. He's strong. Got it over the left field wall.
Are on the board. Here's Deanna Navarro. He takes a strike around the knees.
I'd had to reach for that. He did. There's a lot of hands right there. That tells you how strong his hands are.
Round ball back to the hill, bobbled by Cecil, but he has time and makes the play. And he had Navarro out in front on a change. Rays get a run on the Aybar home run. Through 5-1 Blue Jays.
Sixth inning baseball, 5-1 Toronto Blue Jays. Dave Scheiber, Rays writer on FoxSportsFlorida.com, joins us now. Dave, how's the live chat going tonight?
It's going great. A lot of activity. Of course, a collective sense of disappointment, I think, by the way things have started off. Real surprised that Garza struggled as he did, but nobody's giving up.
I've got to think, though, you're right. After that 9-1 trip, a lot of people, especially the way Garza has pitched against Toronto, were figuring things would be better at this point.
Really true, and I think people just didn't expect to see it. However, everybody is hanging in there. Nobody's jumping ship, and Willie Aybar's home run there just perked everybody up a little bit.
All right, guys, the latest. Dave Scheiber with his live chat here on FoxSportsFlorida.com. Back to you.
All right, Grant Balfour is the new pitcher for the Rays. Garza works the front 5, and Balfour's pitch to Aaron Hill is outside. 102 pitches for Garza tonight. 5 runs, 8 hits in 5 innings. He struck out 6 and walked 4. Gives way to Grant Balfour. 2 balls, no strikes. 7th appearance for Grant.
1.08 earned run average. That's a good start. That's big, too, especially with J.P. Howell out, having Grant.
And Balfour, after a difficult spring, Kevin, has come into these games and has made some pitches. I mean, there have been times when he not only will give you that 93, 92 to 94 maybe, and sometimes a little more than that, but he's had pretty good location at times, which was what he really was looking for coming out of spring training.
93, 94 is a above average fastball in major leagues, but it's the location of it that's more important.
Full count to Hill.
Good hitters will hit 93 if it's up in the zone and down the middle.
And there's one that's hit deep to left and gone. Well, Aaron Hill just back in the lineup. Hits that 3-2 pitch out of here to left. That makes it a 5-run game again. It's 6-1. Hill led all second basemen a year ago in home runs and picks up his first of the season here.
Yeah, this is 91 and up. In fact, a little bit out of the zone. And he gets his hands are high, so he's able to get on top of it anyway. He holds his hands above his right shoulder. So actually, he's able to get a nice swing through that ball and gets a nice backspin on it. Hits it deep into the seats in left field.
There's Adam Lind. The pitch is a strike. Slice the other way. 0-2. Hill hit 36 home runs last year and connected with a leadoff homer in the 6th inning tonight. Foul back.
Tough.
Up to Lind.
Yeah, I just think it's tough to give that run back. You get one quick one back and you get one right back. It's still a winnable game.
It's those momentum changes you were talking about. You know, you try to generate one and maybe you get something to build on. And now the Blue Jays take it right back.
Yeah, and it's the right move. Joe Madden, I mean, he can't let Matt Garza go back out there for any more. His pitch count was already up there, pushing 100, and got through 5 innings. So the bullpen just has to shut it down.
Still a 1-2 count. Another foul ball the other way. So Balfour battling here. He went 3-2 to Hill, and Lind, even though he's behind 1-2, has extended this at bat with those foul balls out of play.
You know, Grant's throwing some pretty sharp breaking balls, and you know that's going to have to be an important pitch for him to make that fastball more effective.
He missed with the fastball down, and it's 2-2.
Because really, Dwayne, there's only one pitch you look for off of Grant, and that's a fastball. And if he makes a mistake, it's hittable. But
you know, Nabi, I think Navarro just got ejected. He took a little umbrage at that call. Turns, and there's the
Nabi made it
home.
Yeah, and I don't like that he got the chest protector up there. Got to be careful of that one. Meaning, looked like there was a little close, perhaps a little brush there. Maybe you don't want that. There has been a question with some calls all night, but you know, Fox Tracks has showed that actually the calls have been pretty accurate, with the exception of maybe a couple in the first inning that affected a couple of walks. But here's the pitch by Balfour. Nabi thinks it's right there at the knees. It's definitely on the corner. Doesn't get the call. Says something. Now he turns around. And whatever he said, that was enough. A little bit of a bump there. That's not going to sit well with MLB. That's what you don't want. It was a minor bump, but that could cost him.
So the Rays will lose their catcher, Deontay Navarro.
You know, on one hand, I like that Nabi's engaged in wanting to get those calls for his pitcher, but on the other, you know, with a little brush there with the umpire, you don't want to see any suspensions. Getting kicked out's one thing, but anything more than that, you don't want to see. And that's certainly a possibility.
Well, that's the first ejection of the year for the Rays as John Jaso comes in from the bullpen. Jaso caught last night's game against the White Sox in Chicago. And Navarro has been ejected, so Jaso's going to have to come in and get the equipment on. Meanwhile, the count to Lynn will remain 2-2, and the fans react to Dan Bellino as he goes over and explains the situation here to Cito Gaston.
You know, I do believe early for Dan Bellino there were a few pitches, a couple that Cecil got around the corner outside that he called. They were close. And maybe a couple that he missed on Matt. But overall, I mean, Fox tracks has shown, and you could clearly see it from our center field shots, too, in the replays, that, you know, the corners have been missed a little bit. But I do think early a couple of those pitches affected what happened in the first inning in that 4-run first for the Blue Jays. I thought the zone was a little tight with Matt Garza.
So Jaso will settle in behind the plate. Meanwhile, we'll remind you what's coming up Sunday. You can get your very own version of Zorilla. First 10,000 youngsters 14 and under receive a Zorilla Gorilla. Webkins presented by Sun Sports. Visit RaysBaseball.com. And that's Sunday. Zorilla Gorilla. 2-2 the count to Lynn, and a swing and a miss. Good tag by Jaso.
Good call. Good breaking ball right there.
A strikeout of Lynn for the first out. Here it is.
Here it is. It's a hard one right here. Look at the tilt on that. Nice block by Jaso. Getting over that ball, shifting both knees down. Right out of the chute. Nice job.
That's part of what he worked on this spring. Vernon Wells fouling one away. Rays trying to get him in a better position, really in a ready position to block pitches and to throw. And he's taken to that. Joe Madden said he's a completely different catcher than the one he had seen 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's big. I heard you talking about that on the broadcast. I believe it was last night. Talking about that in Washington.
Yeah, when he got the start against the White Sox.
Yeah, and he made a nice throw to second base. Stolen base attempt.
Bartlett over to first. Vernon Wells is out of there. Well, a couple little sliders here. One to strike out Lynn, and now to get Wells.
Yeah, I like that. That's a big pitch for him. Once he gets that going and give the hitter something else to think about, his 93 fastball is going to look like 98. He's got too good of stuff, I think, not to be effective for this club. But you got to throw the breaking ball, and he's so far the last two hitters he's been doing it.
Overbay, and the pitch is a strike. The Rays have to shuffle things around a little bit with Navarro ejected and Jaso catching. He had to come in from the bullpen. And Sean Rodriguez just ran from the dugout down to the bullpen, so he'll be down there to help warm up pitchers if necessary. 2 strikes the count. There's Sean Rodriguez. He just arrived, so we've got a different perspective now.
Here's the low fastball right there that Nabi thought they had when he got kicked out. This ball similar.
And a wave and a miss So Overbay strikes out. They get a run on the home run. We got to the bottom half of inning 6, 6-1 Toronto.
Tampa Bay's Volunteer of the Year. The Hands on Tampa Bay is a premier program that allows volunteering and community service in the area for United Way of Tampa Bay. Karen Ferrari, first of all, congratulations. Tell us how you got involved with Hands on Tampa Bay.
Well, I work for Lockheed Martin, and we have a volunteer group there where we've been volunteering in the community for many years now. And when we found out about Hands on Tampa Bay, we realized that that was going to be a good way for us to become more involved in the community, find out about more opportunities, and allow us to participate, just a little bit more.
What would you say, since you've joined Hands on Tampa Bay, has been your biggest accomplishment?
Well, the thing I usually like to tell people is that I have been able to get a lot of people involved in Hands on Tampa Bay, and realizing that I'm only one person and I can only give so much time. If I can get more people involved in the community, say 100 people, then I can get 100 times more hours out there of people helping out and doing for others that need help.
Guys, United Way of Tampa Bay, a great program. Show off your plaque. That's a lot of hard work and a lot of hours, as Gabe Kapler has a 3-1 count. Hold it up a little higher to show everybody. Karen Ferrari, ladies and gentlemen, the Volunteer of the Year for the Hands on Tampa Bay, the United Way of Tampa Bay, guys.
All right, Todd, thank you. Great work by Karen and the entire effort right there. 3-1 the count. Kapler fouls it right back into the screen. So it's a full count to Gabe Kapler with Jason Bartlett on deck, and then Carl Crawford. Brett Cecil, 23-year-old lefty just up from Las Vegas, making his first start of the year. And there's ball 4. Kapler is aboard. Rays put the leadoff hitter on for only the second time tonight.
Yeah, this one's clearly off the inside corner. Had a little run to it. Looked like a cutter right there. Some late break to it. It's a good take by Gabe Kapler to get the inning going. That was my first good take of the night, by the way.
Very good.
I have to save that for certain spots, you know.
Now Jason Bartlett with a runner on. Strike the count to Jason.
You ask, is there a bad take? Yeah, there's a bad take when a guy looks like he's swinging and he gets lucky. Gabe tracked that one all the way.
And it's a strike at the knees, and Bartlett thinking that might have been a little down, and so were some of the fans here. Well, let's take a look.
Again, it's not where John Buck caught it, which he took the glove down as he caught it. where it crossed the plate, and Foxtrot liked it.
It's foul out of play.
It's one of the games where the umpire, Dan Bellino, he'll go back and review. He'll take a look at some of the calls and see if he was right or wrong. Evaluate himself.
Bartlett under it, lifts it into left. Lewis, the left fielder, makes the grab. Back to first goes Gabe Kapler. One out. Dan Wheeler is up in the Rays bullpen. Matt Garza worked 5 innings, and Balfour worked the 6th.
Oh, a nice little chip shot out of the ballpark, and it's a 3-run game. Some guys have been hot doing that, especially Crawford. Of course, Longoria always.
Charles sends a fly ball into center field. Left center. Wells making the call over from center. A towering fly ball. 2 outs. Well, the Orlando Magic beginning their push and return to the NBA Finals. Tune into Sun Sports tomorrow at 1:30. Game 3 action. Dwight Howard leads the charge. The Magic facing the Charlotte Bobcats. Magic playoffs live tomorrow at 1:30 on Sun Sports. Ben Zobrist looking for his first hit. 4 for 2 tonight. He's out in front of that one. Change up.
Change up is right. Good one. Ben saw nothing straight in the 4th inning when he struck out. Everything was off speed or breaking balls. And for the 7th pitch in a row, actually the 8th, because he struck out on the slider in the 1st, he's seen not one fastball.
He takes this one too low, lays off. 1-1.
And that's by design too, for him to get no fastballs. That's something that was talked about in the pregame about Ben Zobrist.
And he drives this one into left center field. That's going to run off the fence. Kapler's on his way to third. They're going to wave him in. There's no throw on the double by Zobrist. And the Rays have their second run of the night. Zobrist drives a 2-base hit, his 6th of the year, into left center field, scoring Kapler all the way from first base.
Well, that's why the game plan against Ben Zobrist tonight by the Blue Jays was no fastballs. Here's one that ran in. They were trying to go away, and this one ran in. Actually had a little cut to it. And Kapler scores all the way from first base, and Ben was all over that. But for a guy that saw 8 or 9 off-speed pitches in a row and breaking balls, he was ready for that one. Fastball. If you're only going to get 1 in 3 at-bats, you better hit it, right?
And he did. A 2-base hit, driving in the run. Here's Evan Longoria. Evan has singled and struck out. The changeup started to come into play the 2nd time through the order. Now the 3rd time through. The pitch is down. Changeup taken low by Longoria. .77 pitches.
Still pretty efficient in the pitch count department right there.
It's high, 2-0. Well, he's walked only 1 man all night and only a couple other 3-ball counts. That walk was to Kapler to start the 6th.
And I think for Cito Gaston, if he could get through this and get into the 7th at least, I think he'd be pretty pleased with what Cecil's done tonight.
Ground ball left side. Diving stop, and Batista has to pop away from him as Zobrist turns third and hangs on there. Longoria reaches. And will be first and third. That's an infield hit for Evan Longoria.
Hey, you put it in play, you never know. Anything can happen. And Evan rolls it over to the left side, wide at third. Bautista knocks it down, and Ben rounded pretty wide, but Bautista was looking to go home with that. And had he picked up Ben and looked at third, he might have had a shot at him. But Ben knows it's knocked down, so he didn't pick up Tom Foley till too late, because he read the ball himself. He thought it was knocked down and maybe into left field, because Gonzalez was going toward his right. But he held up and got back in time.
Well, now it's Carlos Pena. He's seen a lot of sliders tonight from this left-hander. For 2, called out on strikes his first time, out swinging the last time, and he takes the ball.
Well, the one thing now, third time around the lineup, they've seen everything that Brett Cecil has had to offer, with changeups, cutters, curveballs, sliders, fastballs. It's just a matter of picking out a pitch that you like and centering it.
Well, he did that a couple times last August up in Toronto off Cecil. And a little tap. That's a fair ball. Buck makes the throw to first to retire the side. Rays settle for 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left, and they trail 6-2 through 6.
Metro PCS called the bullpen. Pitching for the Rays, number 35.
6-2 ball game. Toronto leading throughout the evening after a 4-run first as we go to the 7th. Experience the Rays Summer Concert Series presented by Hess Express from the field. You can purchase a field access pass. Space is limited, so order yours right now at RaysBaseball.com. John Fogerty here tomorrow. ZZ Top will be the second summer concert. And as we go to the 7th, Dan Wheeler is on for the 7th time. With a 3.38 earned run mark. He'll face Alex Gonzalez to lead it off.
Only 158 batting average against.
Ground ball deep in the hole. Great pickup by Bartlett. Go to first. Safe the call. Close over there. A great effort from short. And Gonzalez is aboard with an infield hit.
Yeah, Jason played that perfectly. Backhands it. Plants. Gets as much on it as he can by doing that. Great stretch by Pena and just good hustle by Gonzalez. Gets the bag. Oh, a half a stride, half a foot before the ball gets in Carlos's glove. It's a good call. Great effort on both sides, though. Bartlett and Carlos Pena.
So now here's Jose Bautista. He's 3 for 3 tonight. 3 doubles. And the pitch is a strike. Bautista doubled in a run in the first, doubled again in the third, doubled and stole third in the fifth inning. Pitch is down. Slider down and away. Randy Choate is up in the Rays bullpen. And a little number foul off to the right. Breaking pitch takes the count to 1-2. We're in the seventh. The Rays trying to hold Toronto. It's getting late. The Rays have 9 outs left.
That's right. Yeah. Every time they've scored a run, the Jays have come right back. At least they did last inning with the home run by Aaron Hill. The leadoff man on here, and Bautista at the plate with 3 doubles tonight.
Wheeler ahead of the count, 1-2. And a fly ball lifted into right. Kepler's going to go back. Makes the catch. That'll be the first out. One on, one out. The hitter will be John Buck. Buck hit by a pitch in the first inning. Garza got him a couple times on strikes using the slider. First, Gonzalez back. Pitch to Buck. Swing and a miss. Fastball.
Right up above his hands right there. Looking for a long one right there, right at the top of the zone.
Buck does have a career home run off Wheeler. He's 1 for 4 off him. That hit a home run. That came here at Tropicana Field when Buck was a member of the Kansas City Royals. A 1-1 count.
Good guy to roll him up on, too. This little ground ball is short.
And a fly ball back into center field. Upton's going to have to go a ways to get this one, and does. That's a fine grab by Upton on the warning track, reaching out and having that ball fall right into his glove. So Upton gets a good hand for great effort going back and executing that catch. That's the Home Depot doing more on defense.
Well, he's very good at going back. That's why he plays so shallow. He has no fear of the wall, no fear of going back. He tracks his ball all the way. Didn't even have to look at the wall because he knew he had plenty of room before that. Never took his eye off that ball, and one-hands it over the shoulder right there. Great play.
Well, that's going to be it for Wheeler with the left-handed bat of Travis Snyder. Due call to the bullpen. Brought to you by Metro PCS, wireless for all. Travis Snyder is the hitter with Randy Choate, the lefty, coming on. Choate did not pitch in the series in Chicago. There's a strike. He worked Saturday in Boston against the Red Sox. Came on and got David Ortiz on a ground ball. There's another strike to Travis Snyder. 0-2.
Pretty good slider there. Yeah, it's a little tough time here to start the season. We saw that last homestand, and then on into the road a little bit there. Gave up that home run to Luke Scott.
And Snyder's out on strikes to retire the side. Man left on base, 7th inning stretch with the score 6-2 Toronto. Coming to hit in the bottom of the 7th, facing the left-hander, and a line drive off the bat of B.J. Upton, but right at Bautista, the third baseman. Upton, a hot shot line drive to third.
Can't hit it much better than that. Bautista playing in case of a drag bunt for a base hit. Couldn't have been placed any better. Got fortunate there. B.J. hit a bullet. Sat on a breaking ball, looked like, all over it.
Willie Aybar really got the Rays on the board with his second home run of the year back in the 5th inning. This one through the hole on the left side, a base hit. A couple of sharply hit balls right here in the 7th, 1 on, 1 out. And let's check in with Todd Callis.
Dwayne, as the Rays hopefully start a rally here in the 7th, a unique sight here in the bullpen. With the ejection of Deontay Navarro and John Jaso in the game, the emergency catcher is Sean Rodriguez. He's been getting pointers from the enforcer, Scott Kersey. He may warm up a pitcher before this game's over, guys. Sean Rodriguez, the emergency catcher. Back to you.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's ready to move in behind the plate if and when that's necessary. You see his right hand still a little swollen from having that hand stepped on by Paul Konerko.
Boy, I saw that play. He got stepped on pretty good. I know you guys were talking about the tosses over the Pena's head in the warm-ups, and then he gets the first ground ball hit to him, throws a bullet for a strike over there. Get the out.
John Jaso in the batter's box. Takes it low.
Tell you what, managers appreciate that when a guy doesn't want to come out of the game.
Yep.
But I was a little concerned just because of the swelling that thing would swell up. But he stayed in there. He also homered later.
He did, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, I was watching. Checking you guys out.
I'm always mindful of that.
I was checking you and Brian out from afar, you know.
There's always that little bit of pressure in the back of our minds.
I was just gathering information on you two guys, making notes. Trying to make myself better. Stealing notes from you guys.
It's all a team effort.
That's good stuff. Especially when you have a 9-1 road trip. My goodness.
Yeah, that was fun. Even in the cold, it was fun.
Yeah.
Jaso is out on strikes. Striking out against the lefty.
Yep. Like a slider right here from Cecil coming up. Jaso gets. Buck sets away, and boy, that's just on the outside corner or just off it. Got to protect. Looks the hitter like it's going to cross the plate and just keeps running away from you.
Now here's Gabe Kapler. 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Makes that a little close.
I thought it was interesting the one game, I think it was against John Danks, he hit a home run just foul, and the next pitch he hit a double just foul.
Yeah, that's right.
It's amazing how a couple of inches, I could have changed the whole game. Could have knocked Danks out. Might have been 10-0.
2-0 the count. Scott Downs up in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Cecil was recalled from Las Vegas, and Aaron Hill activated. They put Brian Talent, the lefty, on the disabled list with an issue in his left forearm, and Edwin Encarnacion a little shoulder issue, and so he's on the DL. Strike call, 3-1. Aaron Hill back active. He hit a home run tonight.
Right on a tee. You got to be taken all the way there. 3-0.
Foul back. That'll go out of play, and the count is full. Well, the Orioles have scored a couple runs in the 7th inning at Boston. The Red Sox 3-0 lead is now 3-2. Here the Rays are down 6-2, trying to generate something. There's a high shot, deep to left. Lowe's back. Home run for Gabe Kapler. Kapler generates a 2-run home run. And the Rays are right back in this thing. 3-2 pitch. Kapler connects for his first home run of the year.
That's what he's in there for. Here's what hitting off a tee is like right here, because you got a 3-0 pitch on a tee. There's the tee right there. Kapler hits it out. Same pitch he got 3-0, gets 2 pitches later, and makes this a ball game 6-4. So strong. In fact, I told Gabe today, I said, I wish you were on the plane with me. First guy I ran into, because you are so strong.
And it's a 6-4 ball game. The Blue Jays are going to make a pitching change. We'll be back with a new pitcher after this. 4. Brett Cecil out of the game, and Scott Downs takes over, facing Jason Bartlett. 8th appearance for Downs. And the first one is low.
You know, Gabe's an interesting guy. He got that fastball right down the middle and deposits in the left field. He puts a good swing on it right there. But that's what the Rays got him for. You know, for people that don't get that and they complain, this guy's a close to 300 lifetime hitter against lefties, and that's not always an easy task when you have to play against lefties and you're supposed to produce every time. But he finds a way to lay in at bat on you. So he draws a walk and scores a run in the 6th, and it's a 2-run homer in the 7th. Gets it close.
2-0 the count to Bartlett. There's a line drive and a base hit into center field. And so the Rays will get the potential tying run to the plate here in the 7th inning, with Bartlett stroking a single up the middle. Downs pitched on Wednesday for Toronto and gave up the game-winning home run to Alex Gordon in a loss to Kansas City 4-3. Jason Frazier gets up in the bullpen for Toronto, and he's throwing in a hurry. Carl Crawford, the hitter, to snap throw to first in the dirt, dug out by Overbay with Bartlett back in.
That's the old quick step off of the left foot from a lefty and firing over there. He almost threw it past his first baseman. That would have put Jason in scoring position. That was the old Terry Mulholland move, if you remember Terry.
Yep. And Crawford takes a strike on the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, I was making mention. That's a good pitch right there. I was making mention about how much Danks and Burley threw over. I said, yeah, they picked a couple of guys off, but you know how much distraction that caused, just the threat of running? What it does to your execution at home plate.
Crawford hits it on the ground to second. Hill has it, and the throw to first in time. The Rays are out in the 7th, but they draw 2 runs closer on one swing of the bat from Gabe Kapler. We have gone through 7. It's now 6-4 Toronto. Coast Honda. Visit GulfCoastHondaDealers.com to find great deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at Geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. From Tropicana Field, ball game moves into the 8th inning. Sean Rodriguez doing some duty in the bullpen. He's warming up Lance Cormier. John Jaso behind the plate. Randy Choate on the mound, and Fred Lewis the hitter. First pitch is a ball. Choate came on in the 7th inning. Got Snyder on strikes. Now he faces Lewis.
Here's one more of those momentum switches. Got to keep it up right there. Put a 0 up there, because if Randy does and it's a 2-run game, the heart of the order comes up in the bottom of the 8th.
Ground ball. That's a fair ball. Up the line and back beyond the bullpen. Lewis on his way to second with a stand-up double. Kepler with a retrieval effort. And Lewis is in scoring position to open the 8th.
Yeah, he got a little slider. He just rolled over and got in a good spot. It's right down the right field line. Carlos, of course, playing off the line, and rightfully so. Breaking ball, get out in front. A little bit of top hand right there. Right over the bag and down the line.
Well, a lead-off double. Joe Madden out there on the mound. He's going to stay with Choate with Aaron Hill due up. Adam Lind behind him.
The question is, was there talk about possibly putting Hill on with 2 on and nobody out to try to set up a double play to face a left-handed hitting Adam Lind? But let's see what they do here.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, and you know, that's the right call. If you're going to keep Choate in there, that's the right call. He's your only lefty anyway, so you're looking for a double play ball. You take the bat out of Aaron Hill's hands. He's capable of hitting a 2-run home run. So is Lynn, but Randy's job is to get the lefties. But Joe Madden that's why he went out there himself and had the gathering to make sure Randy knew what Joe was thinking, and all the infielders as well.
Yeah, and there is a history of some success shown on Lynn.
And Joe, as you know, looks at that. And that's how a manager adds all those things up and makes his decision.
And Lynn is 1 of 8 with a strikeout against Randy Choate.
Even further evidence. You know, some people say Joe just strictly goes by that, but it just makes sense. I mean, that helps. Personally, I wouldn't even have to know if Lynn was 0 for 8 or 1 for 8 or 3 for 8. I think it's the right move.
First and second, nobody out. Pitch is upstairs. That's a strike. 1-1.
A little zip on it. 87, but good life on that. Getting that outside corner.
And a cut to miss. 1-2.
Another fastball. Up in the zone above the hands right there. Well, lefty here, you think you're going to see a slider. We'll see what Randy elects to do.
Another bouncing ball foul.
Another fastball.
You know, the interesting thing about this, they have Cormier in the bullpen. And if you get a double play, then you've got Vernon Wells coming up. All right, you got the right-hander out there, and sometimes Cormier's treated like another left-hander in the bullpen.
That's right.
But if it gets deeper than that, you have Overbay, who is very successful against Cormier. Swing and a miss. Lynn is out on strikes. And now Madden comes out again with Cormier in the bullpen.
That's just a good slider. Look at the tilt on that. Had better break to a better bite. And had some movement both down and a little bit away. You know, sometimes Randy gets a little flat on that slider, and that's when the lefties get him. But not this time. He executes.
head to Anaheim, taking on Torrey Hunter and the Angels. A rematch of last year's ALCS coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Lowe's, begins this week at 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Well, here's the sticky situation for the Rays. 1 out, runners at first and second, and Vernon Wells to hit against Lance Cormier, who makes his 7th appearance. And against Cormier, he is 0 for 4 with a couple strikeouts. The Rays really would love a double play ball here, because Overbay behind Wells is 5 for 7 against Cormier. And any deeper than that is Gonzalez, who's 5 for 6. And the first pitch is popped into shallow center. Upton is there and makes the catch. And Wells is out on 1 pitch. Nicely done by Cormier.
Sure was, and well said, Dwayne, about the matchups behind him. I mean, 10 for 13 combined with those two guys coming up right now. You can't do that in batting practice. At least I couldn't. So that was a huge out. And, you know, what did he do against Wells? He threw a pitch up and out of the zone, and it looked enticing to Vernon. He chased it. And I don't see a different Vernon Wells. I just see when he gets a pitch in the zone, a fastball, he's hitting it hard. That one he chased.
Well, here's Overbay. Overbay with a home run among the 5 hits he's collected lifetime against Cormier. And tonight he doubled in a run in the 4th. Overbay came into this game hitting 119. 1 for 3 tonight with that double and a walk. And a ground ball first. 2 pitches. Well, you can't get any better than that. Pena takes care of that one, and Cormier gets out of the spot. 6-4 Toronto. Strikeout of Adam Lynn. And then Cormier made quick work of Wells and Overbay.
2 pitches, you nailed it. You said it. 2 pitches, 2 outs, 2 big outs. Keep the game right there at 6-4. And here comes the heart of the order up.
So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Our Toyota trend. The Rays with 6 come from behind wins, half of their total. Ben Zobrist will face Jason Frazier. Pitcher number 3 for the Blue Jays. And the pitch is down. Zobrist doubled in a run in the 6th.
About that. Ben got a fastball first pitch. And it was down.
A strike. Down 1 the count. It's over the corner, says Dan Bellino. 1-2.
Yeah, I think Ben was looking for something else. I think it's 3 fastballs in a row, because that's a pretty good pitch. Pitch that he can hit. He knows that.
Cecil works 6 2/3. Downs a third. And now it's Frazier. 6-11-0 for the Blue Jays with 11 left. 4-7-0 for the Rays with 4 men left. Close. That runs the count to 3-2.
Oh, that was very close. Frazier's not too happy. Let's take a look at what Foxtracks has to say. Inside. Dan Bellino got it right. Ben got it right.
3-2, and there's ball 4. So a nice at bat for Zobrist. Boy, I'll tell you, there's some patience in that at bat.
I was going to say the same thing, Dwayne. Those are not easy pitches to take, but Ben was locked in on his zone and was not going to chase. Tried to go away. See what Foxtracks has to say on this one. Ooh, right at the bottom of the zone. You got, what do you get? 5 fastballs there? 6 fastballs?
There is 6 pitches in the at-bat.
Yeah,
fastballs.
Yeah.
Well, here's Longoria. Evan with a couple hits. Zobrist back in. Longoria 0 for 3 against Frazier for his career. There goes Zobrist. The pitch is a ball, and the throw is not in time. So Zobrist steals the base. Wins 5 out of 5 in the steal department.
Big leg kick from Frazier. The ball tails a little bit on Buck as he tries to release quickly. See the ball running toward the second base side. Tough play to make right there, and Ben got a good jump.
1-0 to Evan. Bounces it foul. The ball and a strike. Second base, nobody out. Swing and a miss. He swings through the fastball.
Boy, that was a good swing by Evan. A pitch that he likes to jump on, and that was just a challenge fastball right there. He just got underneath it a little bit. Wasn't that he wasn't on it. He was. He just got underneath it, trying to ride it out of the ballpark.
Longoria takes it up. 2-2. I was going to say Evan has never had a hit off Frazier. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts against Frazier.
He's kind of sneaky fast for me, Frazier. You see 92 on the gun, but it looks. I think to the hitters, it looks a little quicker than that. He's got that nice fluid delivery, and the ball kind of just jumps out of his hand.
Lifted into left. Going to be caught by Lewis. And he had Evan out in front.
Yeah, the key was he got the ball down on the breaking ball there, and Evan got it off the end of the bat. Not deep enough for Ben Zobrist to tag and advance.
Now it's Carlos Pena. Carlos with a hit in 8 at-bats, and that hit a home run. Frazier's been a little more conscious of the changeup, especially against left-handed hitters, as you might expect. Pena stepping in. And a ground ball to the right side in the shift in the middle. That's Hill. Between first and second, over to third goes Zobrist.
That might have been it right there. It was 86, took a little off, got Carlos a little bit out in front.
Yep.
Sure was. That's indeed what it was, a changeup. Dwayne, I think you can call a game. First pitch changeup off the outside corner.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I'll block the plate. You call the game.
All right. Well, I know you can do that. Here is B.J. Upton. Looking for his first hit. That's low. B.J. hit the ball hard in the 7th inning, but on a line right to the third baseman, Bautista.
This is why I like the depth of this lineup. You know, we get through Longoria and Pena. You got B.J. who's in a run-producing spot. And what did he do that, as you saw on the road? 4 home runs.
And a strike on the edge. 1-1.
Now, I don't know about that one from my vantage point. Let's see on the replay here. Oh yeah, maybe it did have a plate. Let's see. Yep, right on the corner. Ran across the plate.
Takes it the other way. Well, he took that pitch barely on the outside corner and struck the next one into right center.
Yeah, I really like him in this spot. That's a little slider right there that he just stays inside it, doesn't try to pull it. Look at that, gets through it nicely. Good use of the lower half of the body. The hit's got his hands through quickly, but he stayed inside it with his hands. Didn't roll over it. Something that Derek Shelton and I talked about yesterday. About specifically BJ. We talked about him at length yesterday, what he worked with him on starting, he said, last winter, about November or so. They worked just about every day on just that right there that you just saw.
You know, BJ was only 1 of 10 with 8 strikeouts against Frazier. So he took it the other way.
Yeah, I think he's a different guy this year. He may be better in the long run than what he was a couple of years ago. I think, Derek Shelton, who lives in the Tampa Bay area, they work together frequently, as I said, this winter, and I asked about him specifically. Definitely getting the foot down quicker, the front foot. He's not in between.
And a pitch to Aybar, and he fouls a fastball back for a strike. Well, it was Aybar who got the Rays on the board initially. That was back in the 5th when he hit a 1-0 fastball into the seats and left off the starter, Brett Cecil.
A lot of wrists right there. Good short finish. The ball jumped off his bat. Had a base hit and scored in the 7th as well.
0-1 the count to Aybar against Frazier. BJ's back in. So the Rays have come back to make it a 1-run ball game.
Well, 0-1. They're in a pitch out count here. If they want to double up on it, they can do it. Talking about the Blue Jays. Well, BJ's going to try to get into scoring position. You got to be wary of the pitch out when the count's 0-1.
And the pitch a little bit high. 1-1.
But what I'm saying is, you still want to run, but you got to let the count go a little bit deeper. 1-1 count starts to become a little bit different. If it gets a 2-1, they're definitely not going to pitch out. 1-2 now, they can still do that. They'll pitch out, possibly.
Upton's lead. The pitch is down now. It's a 2-1 count.
So now you're in a running count. I mean, 2-1 now. Now the pitcher's got to worry about the game, not just B.J. Upton. He better worry about Aybar. John Buck's going to go out and talk to him exactly about that. Doesn't mean they're not going to worry about B.J. running. They probably expect him to run, but my guess is here you're going to throw a fastball off the outside corner. Hope to get a strike out of it and also give John Buck an easier pitch to try to throw B.J. out if he does go. But see, just the threat of going, you don't even have to go. Just the threat of going is going to get perhaps a pitch for Aybar to hit and maybe square one up and find a gap, which is by design by the Rays and Joe Madden.
2-1 to count. Upton's lead. There he goes. The pitch is a ball and the throw is not in time. Upton in with a stolen base, number 4 on the year.
Yeah, see, Buck, that's what he went out there for. He said, you give me a fastball off the outside corner, we'll hope to get the strike. If not, I got a chance to throw him out. B.J. still was too quick. So there's a fastball off the outside corner. Easy pitch for a catcher to throw on. He makes a good throw, but this was all B.J. getting a good jump off a high leg kick of Frazier.
So now Upton's in scoring position. The count to Aybar goes to 3-1. Zobrist and Upton have stolen bases in the inning. Zobrist has scored.
Just smart base running by B.J. to make sure the count got in his favor before he stole second. Very, very smart.
And another little get together.
And this is probably about don't worry if he takes third. You got to play deep now and knock the base hit down. That would be my guess here. Say, hey, listen, you know, this guy can hit you out of the ballpark. He can hit a fastball pretty good, but I'm going to play deep, not worry too much about. And if B.J. does go, is third base going to be vacated for the steal or not? He might just hold his position. We'll see.
Here's Kevin Gregg, who's been closing. And ball 4 is wide. So Aybar goes to first. John Jaso is due. Cito Gaston out of the dugout. Pitching change coming. Back in a moment. Tobacco-free Florida. Escape the addiction of tobacco. Be free. Visit FloridaQuitline.com. Back at Tropicana Field. Now Willie Aybar is lifted, and Sean Rodriguez will run for him at first base. Now the Rays are running through their present and potential catchers.
At least he's in the DH spot.
Yep. Kevin Gregg on the mound. John Jaso at the plate. The pitch is wide. Of course, Jaso, a left-handed hitter. 7th appearance for Kevin Gregg.
Been effective so far as you look at those numbers. Good off speed right there.
1-1.
Bottom fell out.
Gregg most recently the last 3 years in the National League. 2-1. Spent a couple years with the Marlins, last year with the Cubs.
Yeah, that really didn't work out in Chicago for Lou Piniella. He wasn't real happy.
3 balls and a strike.
Because of this. A lot of pitches, a lot of 3-ball counts for a closer. Cito's been through it. He's seen this before.
3-1 to count to Jaso. And a high fly ball hit deep into center field. Wells on the run, and he makes the catch in front of the track. Jaso gave it a ride to deep center, and Wells tracked it down. The Rays pick up a run as Jaso gave it a ride, not far enough. Innings, we take a look at the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment. Gabe Kapler teeing off, hitting a 2-run home run in the 7th inning as the Rays climb back into this game. It's 6-5 right now, and Gabe got a couple back with one swing of the bat. Rays will go to the bullpen again, and Rafael Soriano comes on to work the 9th. His job to hold them. Give the Rays a shot in the bottom of the inning.
Yeah, Rafi's been in 6 games. He is 4 for 4 in his saves and opportunities with a 3 ERA, and his job is exactly that. Put a 0 up there, give the Rays a chance in the bottom of the 9th. Now only down by 1 run. Looked at first like Jaso got it, but when we saw the replay, the ball had a little tail to it. I think he got it just a little bit, not quite on the sweet spot, a little bit off the end. Even a nice ride. I thought he had it at first. Vernon Wells ran it down. A little bit too much hang time.
Alex Gonzalez will lead off the 9th inning for Toronto. And it's cued off the end of the bat. Strike one, a foul ball. Bautista next, and then Buck. Garza worked 5, Balfour, Wheeler, Choate, Cormier, and now Soriano, all following the Rays starter tonight. Two and one. We've seen Soriano, even with a fastball at times in the low 90s. Kind of an easy delivery and on a hitter before he knows it. And then it seems the more he's in the game, the more the velocity increases gradually.
Right. Yep. I've seen that too.
Swing and a miss. Well, he had Gonzalez out in front. Picks up a strikeout.
And no fastballs for Gonzalez. Soriano certainly knows him. A lot of sliders. Maybe one fastball in that sequence. 4 sliders. That was it. Good job.
Checkers double of the game. Well, Jose Bautista has 3 doubles tonight.
That known as
1-0.
Triple double.
Yeah.
What that?
Hope he's not driving. 1 ball, no strikes. And he lifts it into left center, not overly deep. Upton makes the catch. 2 up and 2 down.
Staying with the slider right there to get the out.
Two up, 2 down, and now it's the catcher, John Buck. Rays started the day 12-4, a half game up on New York. Yankees just underway against the Angels on the West Coast. Yankees did not score in the first, and Buck swings through a fastball, and there's that 94-mile-per-hour fastball suddenly.
Yeah, a little jump to it right there too. Only the second fastball of the inning. Nice late life.
And another one. 0-2.
This one's on the inside corner. Nice job of freezing it by Jason.
2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two outs in the 9th. Pitch in on him, and it's popped foul, but out of the reach of Pena.
Just trying to eat him up with fastballs in above his hands, and that's exactly what that one did. Buck did get a slider out over the plate and hit it pretty deep to center field in the 7th.
One and 2 now. Yeah, Upton ran that one down.
Great catch. Save the run.
Inside. 2 and 2. The Orioles have tied the Red Sox 3-3. Austin coming in ahead in the bottom of the 8th now.
All 5 pitches, all 5 were fastballs, and all 5 of them trying to get in on John Buck's hands.
Yeah, foul. Another fastball.
Too much plate there. Pretty good swing. Had a chance to get a little bit more extension on that swing.
And a wave and a miss. Slider down to Pena to complete the strikeout, and that retires the side. Rays will have Kapler, Bartlett, Crawford down by 1.
Trying to give the Rays a little rally cry here in the bottom of the 9th inning, guys, right after the game. Rays Live postgame show. We will hear from Joe Madden after the game. We will also give you the results of our on-away text poll, plus have highlights and analysis of this one. Guys, back to you.
All right, here on this Friday Fest, fireworks in store. And so the Rays are hoping that they can provide a little fireworks of their own in the bottom of the 9th inning, trying to pull this one out. 6-5. And here's Gabe Kapler. He takes a pitch down. 1 ball, no strikes. Kevin Gregg came on in the 8th inning and gave up that deep fly ball to Jaso. Wells ran it down in center. Now here's Kapler. A little number first base side. That's a fair ball just over the bag. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, umpiring at first, made the call. 1 away.
Yeah, cued it right off the end on a breaking ball right there. And kind of hoping I might hit the bag and create havoc over there, but it skipped right over it, and Overbay makes the play easily.
There's Jason Bartlett. Single in the 7th. The pitch is in there for a strike. One and 1. The Rays down to their final 2 outs. And a strike. Bartlett with only 1 prior at bat against Gregg. 0-1. The pitch. That's a strike. Takes it to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty good pitch by Kevin. He paints it up right there.
Back, that's out of play. Carl Crawford will be next. 2 to Bartlett. He fouls this one. Rays have been out hit 11-8. They trail 6-5. Both starting pitchers still the pitchers of record in this game. Oh, strike 3 call. Bartlett took it, thought it might be wide, but it's strike 3.
Take a look from the Fox tracks what they have to say about it. Off the outside corner. Take a look at the overhead shot. Close, but off the outside corner. There's a ball. Bad call.
Now here's Carl Crawford. Upstairs. 1-0. Carl looking for his first hit of the game. That's a called strike. Another look.
Clearly off the outside corner by plenty. I don't know why the zone's getting wider here in the bottom of the ninth, but it is.
There's a shot back into right field, down toward the corner. One hop and up over the wall. That's going to be a ground rule double. So Crawford picks up the 2-base hit, his first hit of the night. And that will bring up Ben Zobrist.
Breaking ball right here. Down and in, and Carl jumps all over it. Drops the head. Good big finish. Good extension. He wouldn't have had a problem if he got that up a little higher. Carl was all over that one. But he'll take it. Double.
Well, how's this for drama? The Rays and Ben Zobrist agreeing to a 5-year contract extension, making it official this afternoon. And here's Ben. Well, he's been on a couple times. He's driven in a run. He's scored a run. He's stolen a base. And now he hits in the bottom of the ninth with the potential tying run at second and takes the first pitch high, ball 1.
How about a phone call for number 1? A long one.
Yep, that would work.
Long distance. Be a nice finish.
1-0. The pitch, and that's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Ben shook his head yes, so was right on that one. Painted him up in the corner.
Greg's pitch, and Zobrist takes it away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Waiting, here it is, and that's ball 3. 3-1.
Trying to stay away from the power of Ben from the left side, of course, so he can't pull it. These balls are running way off the outside corner.
3-1. Crawford is doubled with 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the ninth. Rays down by a run. Crawford. Buck heads to the mound to talk with Greg. Rays trail 4-0, 5-0, 5-1, 6-1. Made it 6-2 with a run in the 6th. 6-4 with 2 in the 7th and a run in the 8th. Made it 6-5.
Well, that conversation right there between Buck and Greg was about, one guy wanted a fastball, the other guy wanted something off speed.
3-1. Swing and a miss. He threw a fastball. And we got a 3-2.
Yeah, off the outside corner. I think Greg wanted to stay away with a fastball like he had been doing. This ball clearly is 6 inches outside. Then try to pull that one.
Count is full. And the 3-2. Strike 3 call. And this this game is over. Well, we put a little wrinkle on that one. Let's take a look at this 3-2 pitch. And it ends the game 6-5 Toronto.
Yeah, Greg just went to the same area, and all these were outside off the corner. It was a little cutter, you're right, the back door, and it went around the plate clearly, and Ben gets rung up on it, but Ben was actually right. The ball was outside.
So it's a 6-5 final. Toronto takes the first game of this series. The Rays leave a man at second base in the bottom of the ninth inning. Cecil will get the win, Garza the loss, and the Rays drop the first game of the 9-game homestand. We'll be with you Sunday on Sun Sports. Our coverage begins at 1 o'clock for Game 3. Stay with us now. Rays Live, the postgame is coming up next. For Kevin Kennedy, Todd Callis, and Brian